The Allegro, once hailed as Britain's next big car, soon became a legend for all the wrong reasons. From bizarre design choices to engineering nightmares, this car shocked drivers and critics alike. Today, we reveal 9 secrets that made it infamous. Get ready to discover the Allegro disaster like never before. The Allegro, launched in 1973 by British Leyland, was initially conceived as a modern hatchback that would set new standards for compact family cars in the UK. Designers envisaged a vehicle with clean lines, practical rear access, and a versatile boot capable of rivaling emerging models such as the Volkswagen Golf, which arrived a year later. The concept promised a fresh approach to British automotive design, lightweight construction, efficient packaging, and the convenience of a hatchback, allowing families to load shopping, luggage, or bicycles with ease. However, corporate hesitation and internal politics at British Leyland intervened. Management feared that a hatchback version would reduce sales of the recently introduced Austin Maxi, so the idea was shelved at the last minute. Instead, the Allegro appeared as a conventional saloon with a traditional boot, which made it feel conservative and less practical than its original concept. This compromise frustrated both designers and prospective buyers, who had expected a forward-thinking alternative to the boxy Cortina and Escort. A particularly infamous aspect of the Allegro was its so-called quartic steering wheel, a design that has become legendary among British car enthusiasts. Introduced at launch in 1973, the wheel featured an unusual, almost square shape with rounded edges, intended to improve legroom and facilitate easier entry and exit from the driver's seat. On paper, the concept appeared innovative. It offered additional space for drivers' knees, particularly in tight urban parking situations, while retaining sufficient grip for safe steering. In practice, however, the quartic wheel quickly became a source of frustration. Drivers found it awkward during sharp turns, long journeys, and emergency maneuvers. Many struggled to position their hands correctly, making precise steering unexpectedly challenging. Even mechanics and motoring journalists, who attempted to see its merits, described it as unintuitive and uncomfortable. The backlash was sufficiently strong that British Leyland reverted later models to a conventional round wheel, although by then the Allegro's reputation had already suffered. The Allegro was one of the few British family cars of the 1970s to feature Hydragas suspension, a system designed by Alex Moulton that promised a smooth, comfortable ride. Instead of conventional springs, the setup used interconnected fluid and gas units, allowing the car to absorb bumps and dips with remarkable softness. On smooth roads, this gave the Allegro an unusually plush feel for its class, offering passengers a floating sensation almost luxurious compared to rivals like the Ford Cortina or Morris Marina. However, the system was far from trouble-free. Over time, rubber diaphragms and fluid connections could fail, causing sagging, uneven ride height and a tendency for the car to wallow in corners. Leaks in the units sometimes made the front or rear drop suddenly, creating handling issues and alarming drivers. Maintenance was also more complex and costly than standard coil springs, frustrating owners. While innovative and ahead of its time, these failures contributed to the Allegro's reputation as a vehicle that promised comfort but delivered headaches. Rust proved to be the most relentless adversary for the Austin Allegro, affecting almost every car that rolled off the production line in the 1970s. Unlike some contemporaries that could endure Britain's damp climate for years, Allegros were unusually vulnerable to corrosion. The areas most prone were the wheel arches, sills, floor panels, boot floor, and even the lower sections of doors, where water tended to collect. Surprisingly, signs of surface rust sometimes appeared within just a year of ownership, especially in vehicles exposed to coastal or wet urban environments. The cause lay in a combination of thin steel panels, insufficient protective coatings, and inconsistent manufacturing practices that failed to seal joints and seams adequately. Once corrosion started, it spread rapidly, compromising not only the paintwork, but also the structural integrity of the car's chassis and body. When it first hit the showrooms, the Austin Allegro carried a surprising price tag that left many British buyers scratching their heads. Compared to the ever-popular Ford Cortina, the Allegro often cost more, even though it offered less in terms of conventional appeal and reliability. British Leyland argued that the higher cost reflected modern engineering touches, such as the Hydragas suspension and a variety of engine options, along with improved interior comfort. Yet these claimed advantages struggled to outweigh the car's quirks and early mechanical issues in the eyes of buyers. Families seeking value and practicality naturally gravitated toward the Cortina, which was cheaper, easier to maintain, and already established as a dependable choice. The Allegro's pricing also made it less attractive to fleet operators, further limiting its market appeal. Among the Allegro's various trims, the Vanden Plas Luxury Edition stood out as the top-tier model, offering features that were unusual for a small British family car of the 1970s. Named after the prestigious coach builder, this version included high-quality interior appointments, such as leather seats, wood veneer dashboards, and chrome trim, elevating the Allegro's cabin beyond the standard plastic and fabric finishes found in lower models. Other amenities included better sound insulation, carpeting throughout the passenger area, and more comfortable seating, which together gave a feeling of refinement rare in this segment. The Vanden Plas also often came with additional exterior touches, such as distinctive badging, polished grille surrounds, and upgraded wheels. Mechanically, it shared the same engines and suspension as other Allegros, meaning it did not offer enhanced performance, but the focus was clearly on comfort and luxury. Few people know that the Austin Allegro nearly expanded beyond the family saloon and estate into a commercial panel van. During the mid-1970s, British Leyland explored the idea of creating a small, practical delivery vehicle based on the Allegro's lightweight chassis. The concept promised a versatile van that could cater to tradespeople, small businesses, and urban deliveries, all while retaining the Allegro's smooth Hydragas suspension for a comfortable ride, unusual in a commercial vehicle. Designers even mocked up prototype sketches showing a rear cargo area with practical access and reinforced floors. However, the project never reached production. Executives were concerned that the Allegro van would compete with existing BL offerings, such as the Morris 1800 van and the Marina commercial variants, and that it might dilute the Allegro brand. Cost concerns and manufacturing complexities also played a role, ultimately leading to the idea being quietly shelved.